So when God called us to this ministry, one of the things He specifically told me, like I heard Him say it, was we weren't to raise funds. We were just to trust Him. He would do the fundraising. And we were to invest everything we had financially into it. But God had promised He would provide, even though we didn't solicit. And we saw that happening. And so our faith began to grow in little increments. And then as the projects got bigger, like building a school, so we're going to build 5 classrooms out of brick and cement and steel, and we have $4,500. Impossible. But this was our first real faith step. And we get to the point where we've got the slab down, we've got the columns in, we've got the roof on, and I'm telling my builder, don't put any walls in, we haven't got any money. Well, one day I heard God say, tell the builder to finish it. And so I believed it was God. I went to the builder and said, I don't know where the money's coming from, but the instructions are finish it. And so he worked on finishing it. I had to buy all the materials and pay the laborers and pay him, and we finished the building and we didn't owe any money. The money just came in as we needed it. And so over time we got into bigger projects. At one of the orphanage houses we were building, we needed to put a roof on the building. We had the rest of the building done, and the roof contract and the steel windows and doors was $8,500. And I had like $4,500, so I gave it to the contractor. I didn't tell him I didn't have the rest. The agreement was we pay when he's finished. And so he took time. It's like he'd come and he'd work for a few days and go away and do something else, and like I got no problem with that. I had no money. But the miracle was, the day he finished was the same day $6,500 came into our bank account from Iceland. And it had taken it months to get here. And I didn't know it was coming. But I went that afternoon, I paid the builder in full, and he never knew that it was only that morning I had the money to pay him. And it was just, that was a very confirming miracle for me. The fact that God waited until the very last day before He provided that money to show me, look, I can do it, and I can do it on time. So some people will ask us the question, well, how do you know that God wants you to do this? And doesn't Jesus say in the Bible that before you build a building, you should count the cost? And that's true. And if I was doing that for myself personally, for my own house, or I was going to buy a car or something like that, then I very much believe I should do that. But if this is God's work, then I'm basically His foreman on the ground. I'm not trying to figure out, do we have enough money to do this or not? This is God's problem. And so we'll just trust that He will make it happen. And the evidence that I have after building a lot of buildings and running this ministry for so long is that God doesn't have any problem with providing the resources. His problem is finding people that have enough faith to trust Him.